Hello, so today is going to be another um, review on the next two chapters on Elon Musk's by Walter Isaacson, and this time we're going to have chapter 1 and chapter 2 from the book, and I have my notes here, so I'm going to tell you what I think from these chapters. So in chapter 1, Adventures, it's telling us, well, it's gonna make it clear that Elon Musk is adventurous because of a lot, in part or in total, because of his uh, mother's side of the family. So his maternal grandfather exchanged his car for a single engine airplane without knowing how to fly the airplane. So he had to hire someone to fly him home and then learn how to fly it. And, and then later they sold it and bought another one, a little bit larger, also single engine, and flew to Africa. And then they flew to Norway and Australia. And when he died, everything they knew about his grandfather was that real adventures involve risk, and he was known as being energized by risk. So obviously, if you have a grandfather who's like always wanted to do something, always doing something that other people don't do, that probably goes to the family, maybe from hearing the stories or maybe even passed by chance. And his mom says that I know that I can take any risks as long as I'm prepared. So you see, mom is the same way. His dad was always looking for the next opportunity, and he's an engineer that likes to restore old cars and also planes. So this is very important because in the next chapters, I have read through like 9 chapters already. In the next chapters, you'll see how this is related to how Elon Musk is right now. And his parents' marriage was really dramatic. And when they went to honeymoon in France, his mom decided that it was a mistake that he married his dad and was thinking about getting out from the marriage, but it was too late because she was already pregnant. And so we see that drama and fighting is something, and a lot of risk and curiosity is something very preeminent in their family. And chapter 2 says a mind of his own, and this refers to the 70s when he was like really a child. And it says that their parents allowed the kids to just do whatever they want, like they weren't restricted in any way. And Ellen started to experience with rockets and explosives, and he says that Elon Musk says that he's surprised that he still has all his fingers intact. And when he was 3, his mom thought that he was a genius because he was very intellectually curious. So she took him to school, and it was too early, and but she insisted, so they put him in school. And although his mom thought he was genius, the principal thought that he was retarded because he never listened in class. He would just zoom out, and he would just be on his own thinking and not listening, like he would be in a trance. And here I can relate to what Musk says, and he says, since I was a kid, if I start to think about something hard, then all my sensory system turns off. And that's very true for me. For example, when since I was a kid, like I had these different interests and different ideas from kids of my age, and I would be like thinking about it. I would be like, like people talk and kids play mom, dad, and whatever they're playing, and I would just think and write and do these schemes, and I'm like totally not there. I'm just present with my body, but totally not there. And that was also in school when I was taking classes. Sometimes the class to me would be so boring that I would do something else during the class. And usually in the first month of the school, I would have already almost the whole entire book read and fixed all the problems, like in math, or I would have read all the books that we were told to read in the language class. So I was like, most of the time I already knew what the teacher will say and what. So I would do something else at those classes and making my own alphabets and writing codes, not computer codes because I didn't have computer in my when I was a kid. But I was writing. At one point, I was like so bored that I started to take notes from what the teacher says using my own alphabet, like letters I made up with my friend. And the teacher came by the table and looked at my notes, and it's like, what is this? And oh my god, like that was something, they told my dad that I did that, and they were wondering what I'm doing. And my dad said, well, we don't know it. We probably better not know it. My dad knew that I always, when I get an idea, I'm just like going for my idea. And he never wanted to be alone. Elon Musk always wanted to be with someone, and until now, he has the same feeling. But also, I can relate here. You don't want to be alone, but it's so um, draining when you hear small talk. And, like, for example, when I go to a party and people talk, and it's, to me, it's like just noise, and it's like I don't understand. Like, not that I don't understand what they're saying, I do, but I don't see the point in what they're saying. So I often wonder, and my husband has to come to me and tell me, okay, smile sometime, or make some jokes, or say something so you're present. And I really do that involuntarily. I'm not like doing that on purpose. I'm just sitting there and people say something, and I just um, I'm off. And I would prefer to be able to do small talk. I would prefer. I'm trying. I'm listening to different videos on how to do that, because I feel like people who don't know how my mind works, they feel like I'm distant and not interested. And in fact, I am very interested, just not in the small talk. Um, Also, he was very determined as a kid. So when he was punished one time and not allowed to go to a birthday party, I think that was 2 hours away by walking, he just was like, I want to go to a party. So he started to walk and got to a party. And that's very interesting. That was also at very young age. And that's very interesting because our brains, they work this way, you have the desired outcome, and you just think how to do it, and you just do it. You don't think that it's not going to happen, that's impossible. Like sometimes I tell to my husband some of my ideas, what I want to do with my life, or how I think it's going to be, and he's like, I'm listening to you and I understand that you live in a bubble. And it's not that I live in a bubble, it's that everything I actually did in my life, everything I actually opportunities, I got to work somewhere. Despite my English, when I came to America, I couldn't speak English. I had this idea that I want to work at a bank, and I worked at a bank. I had the idea that I want to work at the library as a story um, presenter, story time presenter, and I did that. I wanted to work to help and educate parents about how the school system is working, and I did that. I wanted to work in the school system recently, and I did that. So in my mind, it's not that. And during those times, I always was told that I cannot, and I'm not going to succeed in that because my English, because I don't have the studies, because this and that, and all the. But I just had a goal, and I wanted to do it. And same for right now. I do have a goal, and I'm working on how to get there. And my mind just maps the way to do it. And I'm working on those skills. I'm working on those classes. I'm working on that thing so I can get the job I want, even though I don't have maybe the degree that's needed. I agree with Elon. I agree to disagree with Elon Musk. I think college or university is important because they give you a paper and it's easier to get a job. But I also, from my experience, I know that when you go to an interview, you apply and you need to make a very good cover letter. And if they will look, you don't have the knowledge, no, the papers, but they will, or education, but they will be so intrigued by your letter that they decide usually to take you on an interview. And when you go there to have the interview, they see that you have knowledge, the desire to learn, and you are like a pusher in the sense that you're going to get it right because you have a genuine desire to do that. So that helped me a lot, and I understand totally how he felt, how he feels probably now too, but how he felt as a kid. you want it and you get there. I remember when I was young, I couldn't read. I mean, I could read, but when I was asked to read out loud, I would always be so nervous that I couldn't mumble any words. So my scope was to actually do that. So I would stay home, and instead of going to play, I would stay in front of the mirror and just read out loud until I got it. So it's like you have a purpose and you just do everything it takes to get there to a point you want. At 8, he wanted a motorcycle. Oh my God. And he worked on his dad every single night until he got the motorcycle. And he would, even if the dad would get upset or say no, he would wait silently, stay there, and keep pushing until he got the motorcycle. And that's quite something. My dad always, if with my sister, they can, like, argue. My dad knew with me, they don't argue, because if I have it in my brain, it's like no arguing is gonna actually stop it. I just want it, and I know that I need it, and I'm working until I get it. And from that situation, Elon Musk, and me too, from my life, not as big as Elon's life, but I mean, as in famous or having so much money. But from this, uh, I can relate how he learned that being persistent and making your case at the right time, and in spite of hearing no, or in spite of hearing that you cannot do it, you don't take the no for an answer, you don't take the obstacles for an answer, you just do it and then you get it. And Elon Musk thinks he has Asperger's, and that's something I think I do. And I was reading a book that talked about this topic, and I mean, it was just a sentence where it says that someone's child has Asperger's. I was very curious what's that, and then I start to look online and read some books. I ordered some books to read. I looked on videos, and it definitely has its stake with me, and that's how I found out. And very common in that, and Elon Musk had that, I did that, and all the videos I listened, it says that we take things literally, and that's very true. I have hard time to understand when people, I mean, now I learned to do it, but before, like, a person would tell something to me and I would take it literally, and I had to, my brain would be like, what exactly do you mean? It's like, it's pretty hard. And he says that he started to understand people from reading books, and that's very true. That's very true. You start to read books. I start to read books on psychology, on behavior, on how to understand people, how to make friends, how to, and that way you can see what people are like, are actually thinking, how they are um, functioning, and you do understand that you don't act and think and you're not like that. But that helped me too. And the reason he likes engineering and physics and coding is because they're precise. And that's very true. Like, I would prefer more precise, like, tell me as it is instead of tell me as I should probably imagine understanding it. And this is what I got from the first 2 chapters. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And I hope to see you in the next one.